has passed the Assembly, and that's AB 1144. Why don't you tell us about that one?
Well, first of all, I founded For Grace originally to raise a nonprofit to raise awareness about CRIPS, and we have a lot of worldwide media going now. I'm real happy about that. So we have expanded our mission to ensuring the ethical and equal treatment of all women in pain, because I learned with For Grace that we women are we're predisposed to all of the chronic pain diseases. We feel pain more intensely than men, and surprisingly, we have a lower pain threshold. However, when we report our pain to our physicians, we are told that it's all in our head, it's hormonal. We get sedatives and psychiatric referrals.
Well, wait. That's because of the wandering uterus.
The hysterical. You know that hysterectomy comes from the word hysterical. You're absolutely right, Henry. I hadn't heard that. Yeah. We obviously
it goes all over. That's the problem.
Yeah, evidently we exaggerate everything, but what's so sad is that with pain patients, studies continue to show, and I'm a living example of the terribly botched healthcare system we have in this state and in this country, that people with pain have a much better life outcome the sooner they get treatment. So delay. It's all about delays and those nasty insurance companies that get in the way of the doctor-patient relationship.
And let's not forget the other side of it, and that is the medication. Because when you get the medication, you then very often become very hooked on that. It's a self-maintaining system.
Yeah, well, that's a really controversial subject, and you know, I could go on for hours about that. People with pain do need medication. I'm on Neurontin. I'm out of bed because of Neurontin. So, and I am not addicted to Neurontin. I have built up a tolerance. There's a very big difference. So, I mean, that's a whole other issue. I appreciate that. But actually, speaking of medication, our bill 1180, AB 1144, is all about unethical prescription practices used by the health insurance companies at the cost of the patient, and it's again those nasty insurance companies getting in the way of that sacred doctor-patient relationship. So this is another barrier to care.
What is the name of AB 4111?
No, 1144.
I'm sorry, 1144, dyslexic of the world.
Yeah, well, there you are.
So 1144?
AB 1144, correct.
And what's the name it's going by?
Well,
its title?
It's about step therapy. I don't think it has a title.
I don't think it's got a name.
No, it doesn't have a name yet. We have to get through the Senate Health Committee. I'm very happy that Senator Mark Leno sits on that committee. However, we have a lot of Republicans on that committee, and I have swayed some of them before. We need to do that. We have a lot of support for this. Let me tell you what step therapy is, first of all, how it works. Okay, I'm going to use a woman in pain as an example because that's our community at For Grace. A woman in pain has an appointment with her doctor. The doctor diagnoses her and gives her a treatment plan, including a prescription for, let's say, prescription A. Well, all sounds good, right? Well, that's what everybody nodded, yes, but that's where everything goes wrong, because that's when the insurance companies step in the way and say, this woman in pain is not going to take prescription A because prescription B is cheaper. And so this woman in pain is then forced to fail at prescription B for as long as the insurance company wants her to be on it before she can step up to, I'd like to say prescription A, but generally she steps up to then prescription C and D. That the insurance company can actually force us, and I say me because it's happened to me 3 times and I'm fighting it right now, they can force us to fail at up to 5 medications before we're finally put on the original medication that our doctor decided was right for us. And again, this is totally unethical.
Can't intervene and say this is the one that I prescribed?
No, and that the doctors are angry. And when we had the hearing before the Assembly Health Committee, we had Dr. Scott Fishman, a wonderful guy, author of War on Pain. He's the head of the Pain Management Center at UC Davis, and he said to the Assembly Health Committee, I am on the front lines. This is red tape that kills. I don't know if he said that, but it is. And he said, I'm very angry because I don't have say. I can help my patients not be short-term pain patients, but instead become intractable. And the physician groups are backing us up. And, we just had an ABC story run national. I was thrilled. Thank you, Dan Childs. I pitched it to him. And he told my story, but he also told a story about Radine Cook, and she was a reporter with another radio station here in Los Angeles. And she was in a plane crash, and she says here that doctors relied on insurer guidelines to tailor her treatment. I'm sorry, she didn't say that, but that's what she said. Rather than treatment with opioid drugs or painkillers, she received rounds of steroid injections into her spine. They gave her 79 different steroid injections. It took her 2 years before she finally got the opioids that helped her get some kind of a life back. But in the meantime, she was diagnosed with a condition known as adhesive arachnoiditis, and as painful as that was for me to say, it's more painful to have, and it's incurable. Yeah. So there's a perfect example of how step therapy just turned a short-term patient into an intractable,
well, see what happens,
expensive patient.
Well, what happens
Who's
is
advising the insurance companies? Dick Cheney?
No,
well, this is, step therapy must have pulled a page from the HMO playbook because its business plan is identical. Simply put, it's profit over patient care.
That's what I was going to say. The gatekeeper here is a business person who makes a business decision about a health care issue.
Exactly. It's all about money.
Health care is a right, not a privilege.
I was just going to say that, but, in this ABC article, after the doctor talks, and Radine Cook's doctor says that step therapy is a grave imposition on the doctor-patient relationship. I have to say to my patients, I can't tell you what you should take. I can only get you to get what your insurance will pay for, and I'll design a regimen. He said, for the expensive medicine, the doctor no longer chooses what he wants. Hello? Yeah. and then the health insurance lobby, a spokesperson speaks in this article, and the quote begins with, as long as health care is a benefit and not a right. Hello?
Yes, yes.
No, health insurance is a basic human right. We're inhumane if we don't think that.